Hi guys, today I want to show you what it's like to go online with a 486 PC. This is rather a pimped 486 configuration, so let's take a closer look at our hardware. The CPU is an AMD DX4-100 released in 1995. In the same year, SIS released their 85C496 ISA/PCI chipset, and this is the best a 486 CPU can get. And since we have PCI slots, it was possible to use a much newer video card. And this is how an ATI Radeon 9250 from 2004 could join the party. Next, we have 64 megs of RAM, a totally unreasonable amount of RAM for a 1995 486 PC, when 64 megs of RAM were about $2,000, the same as a brand new Pentium 90 PC. But since we do have that much RAM, let's make sure that we have enough onboard cache. So with the help of a donor board, we're gonna upgrade from 128K to 256K. So all the 64 megs are cacheable. The storage is provided by a 1 GB industrial flash module along a more regular IDE hard drive. By the way, you could buy a 1 GB SSD in 1995, but you had to pay like 25K for a drive. So these drives ended up mostly in military equipment. Finally, the sound is provided by a Creative Sound Blaster 16, also a product of 1995. This is how an AMI BIOS user interface looked back in early 90s. Our IDE hard drives are promptly recognized. No extra settings are required. How about those cache chips installed earlier? Well, it looks like the upgrade was a complete success. So now we are good to install another great product of 1995. And can you guess what product? Yes, it's Windows 95, of course. And by the magic of editing, we will be done with the installation in less than 30 seconds. When Windows 95 was launched, a 486 PC was the most common configuration and the primary market for Windows 95. So this is the last operating system tuned for this type of CPUs. And indeed, the interface feels very snappy, especially on this particular configuration. Now let's set up our network. Almost any PCI Ethernet card has Windows 95 drivers, so it takes more time to decide what card to use than to find one. I picked a 3COM 905B card. Driver installation is the same business as always. This is Windows 95, and any change in our network configuration will require a restart. By the way, this is the only setting that was required to go online. Everything else was done automatically through the DHCP protocol. Now we are ready to ping Google servers, and it works. Next, we can try Merc. Yes, Merc is still alive and kicking. We can even access it from Windows 3.1 using the 16-bit version. This is maybe the only part of the internet that didn't change at all. Surfing online, it's another story. Basically, encrypted websites, those starting with HTTPS, are not working with older browsers. On the other hand, newer browsers won't work with older CPUs because they all require SSC2 instructions. The solution to have a decent browsing on older operating systems is called RetroZilla, a browser derived from the last version of Mozilla Firefox that doesn't require a SSC2 CPU. And this version was released around 2016, while RetroZilla was last updated in 2019. Here we are on Win3X, an active forum, mostly for Windows 3 users, but not only. And since this website is optimized for older browsers, it displays perfectly fine in Windows 95 on both RetroZilla and Internet Explorer. Also, the pages are loading in a reasonable time, considering we are using a 486 CPU. Well, this is not the case with more complex pages. If we try to load the old Reddit, which is also encrypted, it will take way longer to render on a 486 that we might think we have a frozen computer. So let me end the video with some RetroZilla action in Windows Millennium and NT 3.51 while using an Intel Core i3 13th Gen CPU. And everything is happening on real hardware. Please let me know in the comments if you want more videos with 486 hardware. Thanks for watching.